Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome. This is the Dream Clairvoyant. Thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome to your live stream. Yes, the screen is intentionally blocked out. I do it this way just so that you'll hear my voice and receive this message. This is a very powerful and insightful message for many of you who believe that you carry the light of God, the white light of Christ. It is your light. And when I say it is your light, it's not necessarily yours, right? But it is the divine light of God that He shines over you. And so you carry His light. Wheresoever you go, His light is with you. That is the light that is illuminating your very own pathway. And that is the light that is also illuminating everybody else around you. I have said it so many times here on the channel that the light of God is the most powerful and most precious gift that He shares with His people. It is only by the light of God that the world is illuminated, because this world is very dark. But the light of God keeps it illuminated. And those who are believers, those who carry His light, those who serve His kingdom, and He has granted them His light, their light also shines for the others around them. Their light illuminates the other people around them. We use the light of God to bring forth healing and deliverance. We use the light of God to perform miracles. We use the light of God to prophesy. We use the light of God for so much, to bring enlightenment and illumination. We use the light of God to illuminate darkness and eliminate it. And so it is very powerful. Those of you who know, those of you who have been called to the kingdom of God and you have accepted your calling, you answered your call, you answered that call, and you have done your servitude to God. You are one of His people. Yes, you are one of His chosen ones. For many are called, but only a few are chosen. Why is that? It's because only a few people actually accept their calling in life. We all have free will. We all have choices. Some people choose a path of self-indulgence, a path of, selfish wants and desires. And that is ultimately their decision. But every decision that we make, leads to the outcomes of our lives. Each choice that you make, the outcome of your life depends on your choices in life, right? And so those who answer their calling and those who serve the kingdom of God, they are powerfully blessed by the Lord and divinely covered. There's a spiritual coverage over their life. It is because of your light. Christ said it as well. He said, because of me, they will hate you. It is because of your light that the enemy is targeting. It has nothing to do with you specifically as a human being. It has nothing to do with you as a human being, because as human beings, we are sinful beings, right? We're not even worthy. We're not even deserving. But because of God's unconditional love for us, right, we are blessed. He has blessed us with something called life. And so just know that when the enemy's attacking you, it's not necessarily because of you, but it's because of His light, the divine light of God. And so if you are a servant of God, I know there's different words: servant of God, child of light, light worker, StarSeed, all those cool names, right? You're only a light worker because of the light of Christ, right? You're only a StarSeed because there is light within you. It's all because of the light of God that He shines over you. It's not necessarily because of you as a person, as a physical being. It is His light that you carry. And in this spiritual war of light versus darkness, if you carry His light, right, the light of God, if you carry His light, you are a target for the devil, right? Because this spiritual battle is all about light versus darkness, good versus evil, the kingdom of God versus the kingdom of darkness. So if you carry light, the forces of darkness, the forces of evil, sees you as a threat, becomes very intimidated by you because light is power. The more light you carry, the more powerful you are. So why is it that you carry light? Why is it that there's some people who are truly light workers because they carry so much light? It is because of their closeness to God. The closer you get to God, the further you are in his light. And so his light surrounds you. You are in his light. That is why I always preach about your relationship with God should always come first. It should be number one. Before your relationship with anybody, your relationship with God should always come first because it is his light that covers you, that shields you, that guards you, that guides you, that protects you, that blesses you, that anoints you. It all comes from his light. And so the enemy will always try to target your relationship with God because that is who you get your light from. Some of you are in a marriage with God. You're in a covenant. A covenant is an agreement that as long as you continue to serve God, he will continue to be loyal and faithful. And that is the relationship with God that makes you who you are today, that gives you the light that you carry, that makes you so powerful, so protected, so blessed, so gifted. So that is why the enemy is constantly trying to attack your relationship with God, because God is the source of your power, the source of your blessings. Everything you have, it comes from God. So the devil knows, and the devil's very calculated, very deceitful. The devil knows, okay, if the devil knows that if he can target, sabotage your relationship with God, who is your source of power, your source of light, that cuts off the power that you have. You understand? And so, how does he do that? How does the devil target your relationship with God? By trying to negatively influence you, to do things, to participate in certain lifestyles, activities, behavior, mentalities, habits that will stray you away from God, that will break your relationship with God. Your relationship with God has been under an attack. It is only by your faith, it is only by your discipline and obedience that you have remained connected to God. And I'm going to tell you how this is. Some of you, you had someone enter your life and that person was trying to negatively influence you. The devil had sent that person to you to negatively influence you to participate in darkness. Participating in darkness, first of all, what is darkness? What is spiritual darkness? We talk about it a lot here on the channel. What is spiritual darkness? Spiritual darkness is anything that is ungodly, right? Extreme spiritual darkness is anything that lacks morals, principles, ethics, justice, and integrity. That's what spiritual darkness is. Anything that lacks morals, principles, integrity, ethics, and anything that is unjust, unfair. That's what spiritual darkness is, just to simplify it. I can give you examples. Cheating on your spouse, that's spiritual darkness. Committing corruption, criminal behavior, that's spiritual darkness. I'm seeing someone here. The devil had sent someone into your life to influence you to participate in spiritual darkness. What I'm seeing, I'm just going to be honest because this is what I see, and I'm going to say it like it is. You had a particular romantic suitor who entered your life. This is a deceitful person who was sent by the devil, but they presented themselves to be your lover, your romantic suitor. That person was already married. That person was married. But they had no intentions of telling you because they wanted you to unknowingly commit adultery, to participate in adultery. That is a big sin. The enemy is trying to dim your light. You light worker, those of you who know that the Spirit of God is with you. You are a servant of God. You are a child of light, StarSeed, light worker, all of the cool names. Those of you who know that you carry the light of Christ. The enemy is trying to dim your light. And how can the enemy dim your light? By influencing you to participate in spiritual darkness. If you are a light worker, the only thing that can destroy your light is by participating in spiritual darkness. Spiritual darkness is anything that lacks morals, principles, values, ethics, integrity, and lacks justice. And so you have all of these deceitful, scandalous people who the devil has sent to you. And these people want to influence you. They want to have a negative influence over you to participate in spiritual darkness. I see a particular person. You had a false person enter your life. They were sent by the devil. And they presented themselves to be your romantic interest. That person was married. That person was married. And they had no intentions of telling you. They wanted to mess around with you. Some of you, you dodged that bullet. Some of you, you didn't have any interest in that. You knew that by discernment, that person was the forbidden fruit. If you are a light worker, if you're a child of light, be careful with the forbidden fruit. Just like the biblical story of Adam and Eve. That serpent, that snake, influenced Eve to bite the apple. The apple was the forbidden fruit. What does the forbidden fruit represent? It is something that is intoxicating, something that will expose you to darkness. That is why when Eve bit the apple, she became exposed. She was no longer innocent-minded. Her and Adam would walk around the Garden of Eden butt naked, unashamed. They didn't know what nakedness was. They didn't know what nudity was. They didn't know what sex was. They would walk around the Garden of Eden butt naked, innocent-minded. But when she bit the fruit, that forbidden fruit gave her knowledge. It exposed her to darkness. Which is why God knew that she had eaten the apple. How did God know? Well, he knows everything. But when her and Adam were in the Garden of Eden, this was after she bit the fruit, and he did as well. The both of them started to cover themselves, right? They didn't want to walk around the Garden of Eden naked anymore because they have now been exposed. And so exposed to certain kind of knowledge. Now they know about nudity, right? So when they encountered God in the Garden of Eden, they quickly started to cover themselves. They didn't want God to see them. So God was like, why are you guys covering up yourself? What do you know about nakedness? What do you know about nudity? What do you know about sexual things? They lost their innocence. Child of God, child of light, be careful with the forbidden fruit. There are some people who are the forbidden fruit. Once you get a taste of them, you get exposed to some bad, unhealthy things and you become addicted and obsessed with it. Protect your innocence. There's certain lifestyles where once you participate in it, there's no going back. You're addicted to that lifestyle. You're addicted to that person. And so your light was attacked. The devil had sent someone to you to try to expose you to spiritual darkness because darkness is the only thing that can dim your light. If you're a light worker and you dibble and dabble in spiritual darkness, you will lose your light. It'll dim your light. And there are some levels of spiritual darkness that are so dark that it will take away your light. For a specific person out there, I see someone who was sent to you by the enemy. That person presented themselves to be a romantic suitor of yours, but they were not true love. That person was married. They had no intentions of telling you. They wanted you to participate in spiritual darkness. What kind of spiritual darkness would that be? Adultery. Adultery. Because marriage is a covenant. You stand before God, you make a vow to your spouse, and you take an oath in front of God. And then you go and you try to, in a way, you participate in that adultery because you are now the mister or the mistress. Idolatry is a big sin. That is spiritual darkness. Dabbling in spiritual darkness is what dims your light. Do you see the cunning tactics that the devil is trying to use on you? Some of you, the only reason why God has draw you so close to him, the only reason why God allows you to be so close to him is because of your spiritual purity. You are pure in the spirit and innocent in the mind. Do you know what it means to be a child? To be a child is to be pure, is to be innocent minded. Protect your innocence, protect your purity. The only reason why God has allowed you to have a seat close to him, the only reason why God has brought you close to him, has allowed you, because everybody wants to be close to God, right? Everybody wants to be close to God. Everybody wants a close relationship with God. But why is it that God has chosen you? Because of your spiritual purity. Don't expose yourself to darkness. Spiritual darkness isn't just like witchcraft and juju and voodoo and stuff like that. Spiritual darkness is anything that is ungodly, anything that is immoral, unprincipled, anything that lacks justice, integrity. That's what spiritual darkness is. Some of you, the devil had sent someone into your life, and that person wanted you to participate in criminal activities, knowingly or unknowingly. Okay. Some of you had a false person enter your life and present offers and opportunities to you that were committed to crimes. That is spiritual darkness. Anything that lacks morals, integrity, principles, ethics, values, justice, that person was a false person. That person was sent to you to negatively influence you to participate in spiritual darkness, because it is darkness that can dim your light. Excuse me. It is darkness that can dim your light. And so the devil wants to expose you to darkness. Your relationship with God was under an attack. The enemy is always going to try to attack you, not because of you as a person, as a human being, but because of your relationship with God, because God is the source. He is your source of power. He is who you get your power from, your light, your blessings from, your coverage. He is the one who you get it from. And it's because of your closeness to Him that has given you so much power, so much light. And so the devil knows, okay, if he can sabotage your relationship with God, your source of power will be cut off. Your source of light will be cut off. Your source of blessings will be cut off. Your spiritual gifts, everything will be cut off. God is the provider. He is the source. Do you see how the devil is so calculated? My goodness. He's cunning. He's tactical. He's strategic. If he can't attack you directly, he will try to attack you indirectly. It is your spiritual purity that has allowed you to have a close relationship to God, where he has welcomed you and embraced you. He has chosen you. He has marked and claimed you as his very own. It is because of your spiritual purity. Remember, a child is innocent. A child is pure. Those of you who like to call yourself child of God, but you've been exposed to so much darkness and you've been dabbling in it. Spiritual darkness. It is anything that is immoral, unprincipled, unjust, unethical. That's what spiritual darkness is. I see it so clearly, and it all makes sense. It has to do with your actions, your behavior, your mentality, your mindset. The devil had sent people into your life to try to negatively influence you to participate in spiritual darkness, because it is darkness that can dim your light worker. It is darkness. Even for those of you who are spiritually gifted, it is all by the light of God that you are spiritually gifted. So if you participate in spiritually dark things, activities, lifestyles, your gift weakens. The more light you carry, the more power you have. So if your light is dimmed, you lose power. Light is power. Some of you, excuse me, some of you, the devil had presented all sorts of offers to you, all sorts of false offers. And behind those offers, behind those opportunities was nothing but spiritual darkness. That's the thing. Some of you, the devil knows that you are too strong in the spirit to ever knowingly participate in spiritual darkness. Some of you truly, you carry the spirit of a saint. Anything that you know God doesn't want you to do, you will not do it knowingly. So what the devil tried to do was hide the spiritual darkness so that you wouldn't see it and you would unknowingly participate in it. But let me tell you this, it will never work. You carry light. Light illuminates darkness. Light exposes darkness. You cannot tell me that you participated in something that you didn't know was dark, because there will always be signs. And it's up to you to back away and remove yourself or continue in it because you believe there are benefits there. Anytime you partner up with a person, place, or thing that is of spiritual darkness, the light of God will reveal it to you, will expose it to you. And what you choose to do brings judgment. Do you remove yourself from it quickly, expeditiously? Do you reject it instantly? Or do you turn a blind eye to it? Do you participate in it? There's some people who have been exposed to spiritual darkness and they learn that darkness. It's like learning a craft. It's like learning how to steal, learning how to do criminal stuff. They learn it. It's a craft. They don't just participate in it, but they learn to master it. And then you have his warriors. You have his warriors who don't participate in it, but they seek to destroy it. They fight against it. You have his warriors who will remove themselves. They reject it and separate themselves, but they don't forget it. They fight against it. I can't tell you how many times I have seen spiritual darkness. I quickly rejected it, denied it. At this point in my spiritual journey, the devil doesn't even bother trying to trick me anymore. But I don't just separate myself and then turn a blind eye as if I didn't see anything. Oh, no, 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 no. I fight against it to destroy it. There's different types of people, but you don't stay in it. Get yourself out of it. It is intoxicating. It is very dangerous when you carry the light of God and you are participating in spiritual darkness. It can dim your light and it can steal your light. It can destroy your light because you are exposing yourself to that kind of darkness. So ultimately, you will become consumed with darkness, overtaken with darkness. And that's when the lights go out and you become powerless. You ever met those kinds of people who are like succubus? They're like leeches. They're always using people, leeching off of people, using people because they have no power of their own to produce anything for themselves. And why is that? Because they have no light. They have been completely consumed by darkness. Those are the kinds of people who are very, very demonic. Some of them, you come around them, you can feel the presence of darkness. You can feel the darkness in their energy, completely satanic. And they're like leeches. They're always trying to use people, leech off of people, because it's other people's lights that they want to use to have power. Their power blew off. They have exposed themselves to too much darkness. Light and darkness do not go together. They never will. They are of opposite forces. They will never come together. So those of you who are in a marriage with God, you're in a covenant with God, a sacred partnership with God, a commitment to God. You are married to light. You are in his light. So don't mix yourself. Don't mingle and mix with darkness. Spiritual darkness isn't just like witches and warlocks and stuff like that. Those things are a part of spiritual darkness. Spiritual darkness, anything that is ungodly, anything that lacks morals, principles. Some of you, I'm telling you, you had false people coming into your life, presenting themselves to be your romantic suitor. They were married. They wanted you to commit adultery. That is a big sin. You are interfering. Marriage is a contract. Two people standing before God, they make a vow to each other and they make an oath to God. And then you come in, third party, mistress, mister, and you try to interfere with that. By interfering with someone's marriage, you are interfering with what God has for them, for the two people who are married. By interfering with someone's marriage, you are trying to interfere with God. There's no such thing as that. Some of you, it could be with your practices, your business practices, your career, your finances, the work that you do. The devil has sent someone to you to influence you, to dibble and dabble in corruption, criminal activities, to be a part of, even if you were not the one directly doing it, you were connected to it. The work that you were doing is connected to that criminal activity, to that corruption. Some of you were working for people, companies, organizations, businesses that are of spiritual darkness because they are unethical. Those are unethical businesses, unethical bosses that you're working for. And the work that you're doing is fueling. The work that you're doing is encouraging the criminal activities. So you are a part of it. And again, you cannot say that you didn't know you were a part of spiritual darkness. The light of God will always reveal it to you. But it's up to you. What you do, how you respond is up to you. But that is the message, you guys. Understand what spiritual darkness is, to simplify it. Anything that is ungodly, immoral, unprincipled, unethical, and unjust. Protect your purity. It is your spiritual purity and innocence that allows you, that has granted you a close relationship with God. Protect your relationship with God. He is your source of everything that you have, your power, your blessings, your anointing. He is your source of power. He is your source of light. So the devil knows if he can get you to participate in spiritually dark things, indirectly or directly, that'll sabotage your relationship with God. And that's exactly what he wants. He knows that if he can break your relationship with God, get you to stray away from God, you lose that protection, you lose that light, you lose the blessings, you lose your gifts. Keep your record clean. Don't put any charges on your record. Keep your record clean. Carry the spirit of a saint. I'm going to go ahead and end the reading here, you guys. I'm going to be doing same day private tarot readings today. What's the today, Thursday, May 2nd, as well as Friday, May 3rd. So if you're interested in the same day reading, email me, thedreamclairvoyant at Yahoo. I'll put the info in the description box. Take care, my beautiful people. Many blessings to you.